The Eye of the Dragon. Chapter 5. Lila grabbed Zane's hand and felt an electric shock. She looked at him and saw that he felt it too. He smiled and squeezed her hand. "Come with me," he said. "I'll show you around." He led her to the horse and helped her mount. He climbed behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist. He whispered in her ear. "Are you ready?" he asked. Lila nodded. "Yes," she said. He gave the horse a kick, and they rode through the valley. He showed her the sights and sounds of the Dragon's Eye. He showed her the flowers and trees, the streams and ponds. He showed her the caves and tunnels, the nests and dens. He showed her the dragons and their followers. He explained to her the history and secrets of the Dragon's Eye. He explained to her how the dragons had survived the wrath of the king and how they had hidden from the world. He explained to her how the followers had given them their powers and abilities and how they had connected them. He explained to her how he had found her and how he knew she was one of them. He explained to her what it meant to be one of them. He explained to her that she was a dragon rider. Lila listened to him with awe and wonder. She could not believe what he was telling her. She could not believe that she was a part of this amazing world. She could not believe she was a dragon rider. She looked at him and saw that he was looking at her with admiration and affection. She felt a connection to him, stronger than ever. She felt a bond with him, deeper than anything she had ever known. She felt a love for him that was stronger than anything she had ever felt. She leaned back against his chest and rested her head on his shoulder. He kissed her hair and hugged her tighter. They rode into the sunset and into their destiny. Chapter 6. Lila and Zane spent the night in a cozy cave, snuggled close together. They talked and laughed, kissed and cuddled. They shared their stories and dreams, their hopes and fears. They made love and fell asleep in each other's arms. The next morning they woke up feeling happy and refreshed. They got dressed and went outside where they were greeted by the other dragons. They smiled and waved at them and had breakfast together. They ate and drank, joked and talked. They felt like they belonged, like they were part of a family. They finished their meal and Zara called them over. She looked at them with a serious face. "Lila, Zane," she said, "we need to talk." They nodded and followed her to a secluded spot. She looked at them with a serious expression. "Lila, Zane," she said, "you know why you're here, don't you?" They nodded. "Yes," they said. "You're here because you're dragon riders," she said. "You're here because you have a special connection to the dragons. You're here because you have a special role to play." They nodded. "Yes," they said. "You're here because you're the chosen ones," she said. "You're here because you're the ones who can save us all." They looked at her in surprise and confusion. "What do you mean?" they asked. Zara sighed. "I mean that you're the ones who can stop the king," she said. "You're the ones who can end his tyranny. You're the ones who can bring peace and freedom to the land." They looked at her in shock and disbelief. "How?" they asked. Zara smiled. "By using the Dragon's Eye," she said. Chapter 7. Lila and Zane looked at Zara with curiosity and confusion. "What is the Dragon's Eye?" they asked. Zara held up her pendant and showed it to the two. "This is the Dragon Eye," she said. "It's a magical artifact created long ago by the first dragon rider. It's the source of our power and our connection to the dragons. It's also the key to our salvation." She looked at it with a serious expression. "The Dragon's Eye holds a secret," she said, "a secret that only the chosen can unlock. A secret that can change the world." She paused and looked at her with a hopeful expression. "The Dragon's Eye can grant a wish," she said. Lila and Zane were startled. "A wish?" they asked. Zara nodded. "Yes," she said, "a wish. A wish that can make anything possible. A wish that can make your dreams come true. A wish that can make miracles happen." She looked at them both with a determined look. "And we need you to make that wish come true," she said. "You must make a wish that will end the king's reign of terror. You must make a wish that will free the dragons and the people from his oppression. You must make a wish that will return peace and harmony to the land." She looked at the two with a pleading look. Will you do it? She asked. Will you make that wish? Chapter 8. Lila and Zane looked at each other and then at Zara. They felt a mixture of emotions. They felt honored and humbled by Zara's request. They were excited and nervous about the possibility of making a request. They felt anxious and doubtful about the responsibility of making a wish. They did not know what to say. Zara sensed their hesitation and smiled. I know it's a lot to ask, she said. I know it's a big decision. I know it's not easy. She looked at her with compassion and understanding. But you have to understand, she said. This is our only chance. This is our last hope. This is our destiny. She looked at them with urgency and sincerity. Please, she said, please make this wish. Lila and Zane looked at each other again, and then at Zara. They saw the hope in her eyes, and the hope in the eyes of the other dragons. They felt the bond they had with them, and the bond they had with each other. They felt the power they had within them, and the power they had with the dragon's eye. They felt the courage they had in their hearts, and the courage they had in their souls. They made a decision. They nodded. Yes, they said, we will do it. Zara smiled. Thank you, she said, thank you very much. She hugged her and kissed her on the cheeks. She looked at her with pride and gratitude. Come on, she said, let us go. She led them to the center of the valley, where there was a large stone circle. She explained to them that this was the place where the first dragon rider had created the dragon eye and where he had made his first wish. She explained to them that this was the place where they had to make their wish and use the dragon eye. She explained to them how to make a wish and how they had to use the dragon eye. She explained to them that they had to hold hands and hold the pendant between them. She explained to them that they had to close their eyes and concentrate on their wish. She explained to them that they had to say their wish out loud and say it with all their heart. She told them that they had to do it together, as one. She told them that this was the only way to make their wish come true. Lila and Zane followed Zara to the center of the valley where a large stone circle stood. It was surrounded by pillars and statues carved with symbols and images. It was an ancient and sacred place, a place of power and mystery. Zara led them to the center of the circle where there was a pedestal. On the pedestal was a large crystal ball. It was clear and smooth and sparkled in the sunlight. Zara pointed to the sphere. This is the eye of the dragon, she said. This is where the magic takes place. This is where you can make a wish. She looked at it with a serious expression. But before you do, you need to know a few things, she said. You need to know the rules and the risks. She paused and looked at them with a serious expression. First of all, you need to know that the wish is not free, she said. It comes at a price. A price you must pay. They looked at her in surprise and concern. What price? They asked. Zara sighed. A price that varies according to what you want, she said. A price that can range from a small sacrifice to a great loss. A cost that can be physical or emotional, personal or collective. A cost that can be temporary or permanent, reversible or irreversible. She looked at them with a sad look. A cost that can be your life, she said. They winced. Our life? They asked. Zara nodded. Yes, she said, your life. That is the ultimate price. That's the price some dragon riders have paid in the past. It's the price you may have to pay in the future. She looked at them with a serious expression. Are you willing to pay that price? She asked.